the whole universe is your body, not just this skin and bones. Now the whole universe in your experience right now. And this is not something, it looks abstract, but it's actually not abstract at all. I'm talking about direct experience, your direct experience right now. First thing, this whole idea that you are a body and you have a body, like a physical body, as we normally say in a separate way, like me and the world, this is idea that grew in you. When you were a baby, you didn't have that idea. And it's a practical idea to function on this video game of life, but it's not the truth. It's an important thing to remember. When you're playing a game, you don't want to be so lost in the game that you think that the game is real, because then, first thing, you don't have fun anymore. And second thing, the game itself becomes a nightmare because you think you're going to die, because you think that everything is going to go wrong. And it's you against the rest of the game. And you have to impose yourself by being smarter. And you're living constantly in a state of survival and stress. So let's go back again to this idea that you are a limited body, that like you, your consciousness, what you are, what you really feel like you deep inside of yourself that is experiencing everything, is located in a body. It's something that at first may look obvious, but we learn to think that. And when you meditate deep enough, at some point, you're able to deactivate this conditioning and it becomes more and more clear. Nevertheless, for most people, this is partially clear sometimes when you let go of yourself. Imagine when you're traveling and you forget who you are for a while and just you blend with the experience of what we normally call the flow, or just a good moment. You blend with the moment. You stop trying hard. You stop projecting yourself in your past and your future. And suddenly you are just there living the experience. And everything in your experience is contained by your awareness. So imagine, for example, when you're dreaming. When you're dreaming there somewhere. That somewhere is inside of your perception. It's inside of the screen that you're perceiving. It's just that we tend to think, I'm just this part. And I'm trying to say, that is just a thought. You are separating yourself actively by supporting a thought that is useful for the programming of the video game, but it's not you. You are experiencing this life in a way deeper level. And that level, everything is the same. There's no me inside and the outside world full of other people and things that can kill me. Any experience, let's say the experience of breathing. You feel that you're breathing, but are you actually breathing? Not really, not consciously. At least most of the time, you're definitely not consciously breathing. Let's put it this way, you're not managing most of the vital functions of your body consciously at all, which already gives you a sense of, okay, so you're sort of not controlling that, so you're not that. You are just living, experiencing a body. And the reason why that is significant to notice is because you become a bit more detached from it, a bit more open-minded to start understanding that as much as is a necessary rule for the game, is not the ultimate truth about you, and that's causing all the suffering and fear. Life is not supposed to be experienced as suffering or fear or anxiety or loneliness or depression, apathy. It's not supposed to be like that. The consequence of thinking that you're a body, you're inside of a body, trapped inside of a body or a character in a simulation, and there's the rest of the world, that thought alone is the root. Believing that that is the truth is the root of all the problems that we have in many different ways. I don't feel fulfilled. I try to get more. I try to become all the general desires and lack of sense of fulfillment in your life comes from the idea that you are separated from everything. So if you investigate your experience directly, and for most of us, this implies that you have to carefully observe and research your experience. We call that meditation. You just, when you go to the experience, as I was saying before, when you're breathing, for example, you also notice that we tend to think, okay, this is me, and this is my body, and there's the rest of the world, the universe. But when you're breathing in, what are you breathing in? You're breathing your life. And as I was saying before, implying before, you're not even really breathing. It's kind of just happening. So there's this constant interaction between you and outside, to the point that the difference is just a limit, like a frontier between two countries. Someone just said, okay, this is the line. This is that country and this is the other country. And yeah, it can be, for practical reasons, can be useful. But this is not the truth. This is not the ultimate truth. And it's important to discover it in your own experience, because your whole reaction to the world, your whole emotional life will completely, drastically change if you start understanding that everything you experience is not a two-sided event, you and the world. It's just an event. The sensation of, for example, of you walking or touching something, for example, touching. If you touch your clothes, it seems that it's you and then the clothes. But if you really will directly observe the experience, you cannot find anything like that. There is just the experience of sensing your clothes. There's just that. And you cannot tell where is the line between you and the clothes, really. It's just, they together, it's a conceptualization. When you clearly see it directly, there is just this experience of clothes in your skin. We just put the labels, this is clothes and this is my skin. But if you will directly analyze the situation, it's just one data, just like one event, which our mind splits it in two. I hope this makes sense to you in a practical sense. I hope you're getting me. Try. Let's see if I can say this in a different way. For example, every time you're experiencing, your mind understands very clearly, okay, this is an object, this is my body of this person, and that is another body of another person, and that is a table, and that is a chair. That is your mind, and understand, okay, there are objects, but all of the experiences of a body, a table, a chair, other people, all that experiences are happening inside your consciousness. When you feel the table, when you sense the table, before you label it, the scenario where that table, that event of sensory experience of this table, that it is you. It has to be you. You are not separated by a wall and it's you here, it's you there. No, in the moment where you're directly experiencing the table, there is just the experience of a table. It's just that direct, naked experience beyond thinking. That is just that. And you notice that every object you could ever find, it is become an experience because there's this light of your own perception and awareness that you're noticing it. This object you're noticing, this object you're noticing. And when you think of yourself and your body, you're also noticing it. There is always this background of you experiencing everything, and the objects may change, the situation may change. And still there is something that is the stage where all this thing is coming and going, that is there all the time. So everything is consciousness. All your experiences are consciousness. This is another way of saying the same thing. So your whole experience of the universe is just one single experience. And it's not you and the universe. You are the universe, not you in the sense of this little me with this little brain going around. No, there is something that is observing this little me with this little body, this little lonely world, or whatever. There is something that is observing that thoughts, that attitude. And that something permeates everything. All the experience you have are permeated by that same layer of you, which is the deepest. It's just that it's always the same. You don't see it anymore. It's overlooked. Things change. And yeah, you can notice when things are moving. Oh, yeah, that calls your attention. And that way we get trapped in the world. We get trapped with our minds. But if you, whether just relax in your being or you thoroughly investigate your experience with fascination, you find that actually there is no here and there. There is no me and the world. There is just this. There is just an experience. The whole concept of space and time, it is a concept on that moment. And your brain may think about it, and your mouth will say words about it, and your body will move, and your character will do this or that in your life. So, for that sense, and from that point of view, yeah, there is this agreement on these terms of we're living in this physical world and this is the way reality is. I'm not saying to deny that as a body. I'm talking about to realize that everything you experience, it is happening inside of yourself, and yourself not being a body. That's an idea. So if you're able to relax your mind to the point that you can experience this moment as just happening, just an experience all the time, continuously, at least long enough, there's something that cracks. A software that's running in the back of your mind telling you me and the world that was created when you were just a little baby. You can go beyond that because you are beyond that. And you do that by, as I said before, or investigating thoroughly every event that comes to you, or you can just relax, surrender, as they say. But also your mind, surrender your grabbing, your grip of thinking. And thoughts are like bubbles that come up, but you don't pop them. They just, this happens, that happens. Your body moves. Your body doesn't move. It's asleep now. It's not asleep. It's doing this, it's doing that. It's thinking about this, thinking about that. It just doesn't matter. Everything is the same. Not just every situation for that character, but the whole scenario. All the things that come and go, come and go, come and go, come and go. In the end, they are all just, we're just moving around the stage like this and thinking that we are seeing different stages, but actually the stage is always the same. We are just dividing it with our mind into different experiences. That can be fun as far as you don't forget who you are, because then it becomes a nightmare. If you don't remember that everything you ever meet is yourself, and everyone you ever meet, it is yourself. And from there, actual compassion appears. Love. There's no difference between self-love and love to anyone or anything. Love is love. It's a natural consequence of you understanding. By understanding, I mean realizing practically beyond your mind that things come and go. Your body seems to be here, and there seems to be an outside world out there. But these are all assumptions made on raw sensory data that belongs to no one. that is just experiencing. You don't need to be trapped in a character. You can be the whole universe if you let yourself relax from the compulsion of being a person thinking and doing. So spend time in your day observing that. That is the underlying experience to all your experiences. Then our mind divides that into me, the world. I have to go to work. I don't like this. I like that. If you go beyond that, if you open the scope of your identification, you let all experience be there, suddenly you find a bigger paradigm, an infinite one, actually, because there's nothing that cannot be contained by it. And that's your nature. You may apparently have to do something for it. We call that meditation. Or you have to train yourself to untrain yourself. It's a paradox, but it works. So if you get it, and suddenly this video just enlightened your life perfectly, forever, amazing. Obviously, I'm not saying anything. I'm just reflecting the wisdom that is in yourself. But if you find trouble integrating that, then sit and meditate. Meditate every day to the moment that you are meditating all the time. And whenever you are able to meditate and live in that state of detachment and pure awareness moment by moment, the whole plot of the ego and the suffering falls apart on its own without you doing anything. You're just surrendering. But you're surrendering in a very specific way. So just consider, try it. Try it for one day, for 1 hour even. Just treat all the universe as your body. Care about everything as you care about your body. Love everything as you would love your body. Don't make distinctions. You don't have to.